The Godfather is celebrating its 50th anniversary, one of the greatest films of all time and the second highest rated film on IMDb after Shawshank Redemption. The success of the film led to creating a timeless trilogy. The Godfather Part 1 won 3 Oscars at the Academy Awards, for Best Actor awarded to Marlon Brando, Best Picture, and Best Adapted Screenplay awarded to Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo. The Godfather Part 2 won 6 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Supporting Actor awarded to Robert De Niro as the young Vito Corleone. And less than 20 years later, the franchise ended with The Godfather Part 3, which isn't as phenomenal as the first two, but nevertheless, a great franchise. But then I asked myself, what if Paramount Pictures decided to shut down the idea of Mario Puzo's The Godfather? What would happen to Brando, Pacino, and Coppola with their careers? What would happen to the gangster genre? So right here we're going to a different alternative universe to see what if The Godfather, the catalyst of reviving and starting careers, never happened. Let's look at those who will be affected by the loss of The Godfather. First up, Marlon Brando. He was an iconic figure in the 1950s and a showstopper, with On the Waterfront winning Best Actor in the leading role, Streetcar Named Desire, and Julius Caesar. But in the 1960s, he went through commercial flops, starting from Mutiny on the Bounty in 1962. His iconic role of Don Vito Corleone revived Brando's career as a top box office star and earned him his second Oscar for Best Leading Actor. Without The Godfather, Brando would have continued to find roles for the sake of money and means to financial end. He wouldn't be in Superman as Jor-El, nor Apocalypse Now as Walter E. Kurtz. Marlon Brando would have been broke in his late 40s and ended his career in a horrible note. Second, you got Al Pacino. He became an upcoming rising star of the 70s and cemented his legacy as one of the greatest actors of all time. He received 3 nominations, 2 for Best Leading Actor and 1 for Best Supporting Actor for his role as Don Michael Corleone. Without The Godfather, Pacino would get minimum attention from Hollywood and not have been as big as he is now. One role can create a huge impact in an actor's career, which means we would not have seen him in Scarface, Carlito's Way, and even Irishman. And let's not forget Heat. We would not have seen Robert De Niro and Al Pacino in the same screen together for the first time. But I will say, Pacino could still have gotten the role of Serpico since the production wanted new upcoming actors, 1 year after The Godfather, but it's nowhere close to Don Michael Corleone. Next up, Francis Ford Coppola. Stanley Kubrick believed that The Godfather is the greatest movie ever made with the best cast. Without Coppola fighting for it, history would have never been made. Coppola is an Academy Award winner for Best Screenplay for Patton, 2 years before The Godfather. He would still have made the conversation in 1974, but his stock wouldn't be high if he didn't direct the Godfather franchise. He wouldn't be receiving 2 Oscars for Best Adapted Screenplay with Mario Puzo and 1 for Best Director for Part 2, which was one of the best sequels ever made with The Dark Knight and Star Wars Episode 5. His legacy would haven't been cemented right there, which also means no Apocalypse Now, which was an expensive film to make and another masterpiece. Speaking of Apocalypse Now, Robert Duvall. He would have not had his iconic role of consigliere Tom Hagen in the Godfather franchise. At the same time, he wouldn't smell napalm in the morning as Bill Kilgore in Apocalypse Now. Both roles earned him Oscar nominations for Best Supporting Actor in the Academy Awards. Robert Duvall is an Academy Award winner for Best Leading Actor in the film Tender Mercies, but I haven't heard of it. To this day, I haven't watched it. If we look at James Caan, he will be missed dearly. Sonny Corleone became a signature role in his career, earning him an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor, along with Al Pacino and Robert Duvall. Without The Godfather, James Caan would still be known for his roles in El Dorado and Countdown. And let's not forget down the road, he'll be known for Stephen King's Misery and Elf. And last but not least, Robert De Niro. This is going to be an interesting part. The only thing that will affect him in his career is that he won't be getting an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in The Godfather Part 2, which helped him promoting Taxi Driver. But De Niro would still be one of the greatest and most recognized actors on screen. He'd still collaborate with Martin Scorsese for many films, especially Raging Bull, which he won the Best Leading Actor at the Academy Awards. But this is where it gets funny. There would be no Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese wouldn't have his epic Italian gangster film if Coppola's film didn't exist. Here's why. The Godfather was made by Italians about Italians, Smithsonian concepts. They changed the depictions of Italians on the big screen and broke the stereotypes of them. The Godfather presented Italian Americans as very educated, well-dressed, and successful in their businesses chasing the American dream. But also, they showed how they protect the value of family and loyalty. The film helped embracing Italian American culture, and it opened doors for films like Goodfellas and the show Sopranos. The only gangster film to take place and not be affected by this is Sergio Leone's last film, Once Upon a Time in America, also starring Robert De Niro. This was Leone's 12-year project and rejected the offer to direct The Godfather for that. However, Once Upon a Time in America is not an Italian-American mafia film. It is a poetic film about love, greed, friendship, lust, and remorse. It doesn't have the same values of loyalty and family like The Godfather teaches us. The lessons from Vito and Michael are timeless and very important. Although the film is Leone's masterpiece, Once Upon a Time in America does not set the bar for the gangster genre and does not have iconic figures like Don Vito and Michael Corleone that we could recognize. Let's not forget Tony and Paulie of The Sopranos, or even Henry Hill, Jimmy Conway, and Tommy DeVito of Goodfellas. These were iconic roles in the gangster genre, and Once Upon a Time in America does not even go close to that. To answer the question, what if The Godfather never happened? It would have altered the careers of actors, and the gangster genre would not be as it is right now. This shows how much of a big deal the film is in cinema, which is why I call The Godfather the pinnacle of gangster films, if not Hollywood, and I couldn't imagine how much loss it would bring to cinema.